Tuned us in for Speaking of Sports on NBC Sports Radio and NBCSportsRadio.com. I'm your host, Jim Daniels. And time for us to turn our attention now to the deal-making issues, the money. Yeah, go ahead and make the Johnny Manziel money sign right about now. It's the Professor, Rick Horrow, joining us. Good morning.
Good morning. How was your first segment? Was it as good as this one's going to be?
Well, you know what? It's kind of up to you.
Very well done.
Put it right back on you, man.
I've been working with you for, 20 years? That's probably the brightest comeback I've ever heard from you, man. That was good.
It's pretty
Excellent.
good. It's only 15. Don't make me older than I am.
Yeah, I get it. So Joe Philbin's on the hot seat. Some of the other Dolphin guys are on the hot seat, but that's not your agenda. It's mine as a Dolphin fan. So the beauty of today, by the way, just to hijack for 1 second,
Sure.
is for 3 weeks this year, the NFL is really testing the 13-hour intense type A window, or even longer than that, and frankly trying to create a franchise out of at 9 o'clock in the morning East Coast, 6 o'clock your spot. Second game, I'll be there. We'll do it live from there 3 weeks from now. Yahoo streaming of that Bills-Jaguars game and all of the implications of it. The NFL's asked me to kind of go and take a look, the inside look at it, and we'll see where that goes, not only for London and the NFL long term, but how to create value out of just the internet piece of this world. So it'll be interesting 3 weeks from now. How's that for a
All right.
game to play?
No, that's good. I'm actually my first question was going to be about the game anyway. I'm asking why you're slacking and you're not over there for the first game to watch your squad. What are you doing?
Well, because I might as well. I'm going to sit and watch and try to watch all games from 9:30 this morning until midnight, and then. Remember Blazing Saddles, where Marty Feldman at the end of that scene had two eyes pointing in two different directions? Well, that's going to happen at midnight. So it's going to be interesting. But, yeah, second game, third game, the whole London issue, first intra-divisional game in London, and they're, incrementally moving toward some regularity to it. Is it going to be 16 teams play a home game a year there every second year with a bye? That's a possibility. Or is it going to be is it going to be an expansion game? We'll just have to see. Yeah. Or a one-off.
It is. Well, I think the one-off thing, this thing that they're doing right now is working pretty well. I know it's not exactly what they want, but I have to ask this question because we do talk about the dollars. What happens to the advertising rates when you're running? Because I know that a lot of sponsors pay an unbelievable amount of money for just individual commercials. What happens when they run this game at 6:30 in the morning on the West Coast, 9:30 on the East Coast? Do they kind of have to back up and take a little bit less for those ad dollars?
No, it's all part of a larger pot. So they make it up elsewhere. But they're going to argue that, you get this window, and if you're a sponsor that's the whole NFL dial, then you get 3.5 more hours that day than you would have gotten otherwise. Is the answer. If you're an NFL sponsor and you're buying the entire day. And then the other piece of it is there are sponsors, by the way, that are just keyed to the whole package over there. Five Guys, the hamburger chain, signed a big deal to be the official sponsor of the entire London effort. So there, by the way, it's like the beer cans with individual teams. There are going to be 32 themed Five Guys all over England, one themed around each team in the NFL. How about that?
Wow, that's crazy stuff. Rick Horrow is our guest. We talk the business of sports with the professor. Let's talk about Jordan Spieth. Wow, he wins the FedEx Cup and $11.5 million in total with all of it. It's the official, really, end of the PGA Tour season. Really, you got the President's Cup coming up in Korea. That formally finishes the season, but I think everybody agrees for the most part it was over on Sunday. Jordan with $20 million in prize money. That's the most ever for a professional golfer. He's got a ways to go. Tiger at $110 million in career winnings. He's got a ways to catch him, but you know what? Because of the size of the contracts and the dollars, he's going to catch him faster. He's going to get that number quicker than Tiger did, don't you think?
Yeah, but he's also 22 years old. At the same time, when Tiger was 22, he earned about 10 times less, and I know there's inflation now, et cetera, et cetera. But also, how about off-court? Of course, he's represented by Lagardère Sports. They're doing a really good job at managing him and not overexposing him. So the Under Armour and AT&T and other deals he's got are stout, are long-term, and their guys believe in him as he moves forward. So they're doing a good job. He's obviously doing a great job, and more importantly, the tour seems to have completely recovered from this Tigerless stretch. We got Rory, obviously, Jordan Spieth, and Jason Day. They'll lead the business well into the future, and Tiger will probably become irrelevant unless he either thinks about winning or actually winning a major.
Wow, or just hang around and wait till he turns 50 and see if you can try it on that tour, right?
Wow. Yeah, how about that? It's 11 years from now. I mean, everybody seems to remember the Tiger's 39, and you see the vision of greatness, but his peak was almost a decade ago, and it's kind of hard to realize. But we're all getting older. You started the segment with that. You're older. You're getting older than I am.
Yeah, by the minute here. Daytona International Speedway. Let's talk some NASCAR dollars. They've signed on Sunoco as a sponsor of its fourth injector entrance. Now, look, I'm not a NASCAR guy here, and maybe you can help me out with this because what they're doing at Daytona is amazing. A $400 million Daytona Rising renovation project. But these four injectors entrances they're talking about, asking price $2 to $2.5 million so that you can paint it up any way that you want to. Chevy has got one, and they've painted it up to resemble a dealership. Look, I don't want to come off too ignorant here, but what exactly is this injector entrance? Is this just an entrance to the raceway that you get to paint with your logo for $2 million?
Well, it's a lot more than that. It's a funky entrance that's kind of iconic and brand-wise. It's like if you're saying, go meet me over at those columns at the LA Coliseum, everybody knows what those are, and it's the same kind of thing, but it's not just painting your logo. The Chevy and Toyota and Florida Hospital and now Sunoco are going to have Sunoco plans, for example, to recreate the feeling of being on pit road. So you're gonna go to a gas station when you enter the track on the Sunoco injector, the Sunoco entrance.
I like that.
Same with Chevy. So the bottom line is this is a rare opportunity to have your corporation for $2 million a year. It's a big deal. Basically structure the area the way you want it done. And by the way, with this $400 and some odd million renovation project, nobody really realizes it if you're not a race fan. But come February, Super Bowl 50, Santa Clara, and the opening of this during Speed Weeks are, trust me, the two biggest issues by far for 2016.
Let's talk about technology in the dugout. Several MLB teams, including the Pirates, the Reds, and the Cardinals, have been using iPads in the dugout during games this season. Now, that's all under strict guidelines set up by Major League Baseball, and one of those guidelines is that nobody can be connected to Wi-Fi during the game. So, they want to try and control the information flow there. We see all of the guys on the NFL sidelines with their Microsoft Surface Pros. Isn't this going to be pretty hard? I mean, look, they say in sports, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. I mean, it seems like the easiest way to cheat in the world is with these electronic devices. This is going to be tough to police, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is, but that's what makes America great, especially in sports. So, everybody at the end of the day will have uniform equipment. They don't have it today, but they will. The NFL is a good example. The $400 million over 5 years through the Microsoft partnership with the league. The NFL writes specific guidelines, what you can do, what you can't. It sure beats. Remember when Carroll was trying to stuff the photos in the referee's shirt going to halftime, saying, look at the 13 men on the field. Well, this is that, except everybody's using an iPad. And they'll structure the rules. The equipment will be identical. The rules will supposedly be identical. Some teams will go to the line. Some teams will go over it. But the leagues will try to figure out how to enforce it.
Rick, thanks for being with us this morning on NBC Sports Radio.